Ah, well, we live. Welcome back, everybody. Algorithm versus the experts. We are your experts. I am John Batanti. That is Josh Moody in those fancy, fine blue glasses. We are going to break down the biggest event of the year, UFC 280, for you. We're going to give you some winning picks. You're going to make some money, and we're going to enjoy this fight card.
I'm probably gonna give you some losing picks.
Nah, we're gonna give you mostly overall. You're gonna come out winning picks. This is an
Oh,
amazing card. I think this is a really good betting card as well as just the best card. This is the biggest fight I think since Conor and Khabib. I can't recall a fight much bigger than this. They're already crushing pay-per-view records, pay-per-view buys for the time. It's huge. I mean, it is a big fight. I think everyone's wanted to see this fight since Khabib retired and Oliveira started crushing everyone. And
I
Makhachev
can't
was
think of
saying.
two bigger matchups.
Yeah, this is a. I don't think McGregor and Poirier was. I don't think people want it. There's no. I don't think it was as big as this. There's not a belt behind it. There's not any drama behind it. You don't have Khabib's little brother or something. Like trying to step in and never beating an unranked opponent and just going against this fucking savage who ref, just submits everyone and just can't you knock him down, but he's like all of a sudden he's just crushes you. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a good card. But let's get to it because we can. Yeah, first we're going to give you all your value plays, and the first one is right away. First fight: Cara Hosa against Lena Lansberg.
The
Cara
elbow.
Hosa,
That's just such a beautiful name. The
Cara
elbow.
Hosa, Lena Lansberg,
The elbow queen.
the
That's
Elbow
great.
Queen. A beautiful name. What if you were in? What if you had a
Every
dating
single time.
profile and you saw the Elbow Queen? Would you click yes? Would you swipe
I was
right?
not dating for the elbow queen.
Like, what if you saw
Oh,
her
I'd
on?
be grossed out. Like,
She
what's she?
came on your thing. I'd be gross. You just said it's a beautiful name. So what if you
It
saw her?
is.
Like,
In
would you
as
say?
in like in relation to violence, I love it.
But you wouldn't meet her for coffee and a possible romantic
I
interest.
can't say I wouldn't have, uh, but I'd be kind of worried about what it meant.
Right?
Yeah.
True. But Carol, Lena Landsberg, she didn't look that bad last time, her last fight. I think she came back at 39 or 40. She's 40 now. Coming back from having a baby and all that, it's really hard. Um, but she's outgunning, outmatching this fight. Cara Hosa traditionally has really good takedown defense. She did run into her Achilles heel though against Sarah McMahon, who was just. But Sarah McMahon's wrestling is no one can wrestle like Sarah McMahon as far as women's MMA. She got her down, she held her down for long enough, and she won the first. She banked the first two rounds and held on. Hosa is a very good offense. She's not a bad offensive wrestler herself. Really good top control, good ground and pound, and you saw that in the third round against McMahon. Hosa's striking volume is really good too. Striking volume, diversity in her strikes. Carol Hosa all day. I think she opened minus 240. I don't recommend laying anything over minus 200 MMA, but I did lay. I think Carol Hosa has every which way to win this fight. I don't see her getting finished. I think she'll have a full 15 minutes. I think she wins 2 out of 3 rounds on judges' scorecards. What do you think?
I Carlos has a real high work rate.
Yeah.
6.6 strikes landed per minute. She gets hit, I mean, she gets hit a lot too, but she hits a lot more than she gets hit, which is not something that you can say about Lena Lansberg. She gets hit a lot. Um, I expect this fight to go to decision. I don't. Neither one of these girls are big finishers.
No, no, you get good odds on it. And maybe Cara Hosa can find a finish. She's powerful, but I've seen her bludgeon two chicks in the UFC, and that went to the scorecards. So I wouldn't bank on the finishing power. You're right.
Yeah, I don't. She doesn't have a single finish in the UFC, and Lena Lansberg has like 1 or something like that in like 10 fights.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Lena Lansberg knocking out or submitting Cara Hosa. It should be Cara Hosa, nice and easy all day. Start the day off with a win, strike and keep it up. But you know they still got to get in the cage and fight. Next fight is another one too. It's just a smash. Muhammad Mokaya against Malcolm Flash Gordon. I mean, it's just like I know last week I said like Pete Rodriguez was pretty much free money, but that was because Mike Jack, like his opponent, wasn't UFC caliber. I mean, this is free money if you have the balls to lay like minus 900, minus 1,000. But this opponent is actually UFC caliber, even though he has a ton of holes. He doesn't have a chin. He has no takedown defense. I mean, you can take the guy down. He doesn't really offer much resistance. I think he's got a BJJ brown or black on his pocket, but I don't know if he has any submission wins. But Mokaya, you've seen, he's just, I mean, he's looked nothing but incredible as far as his skills. His takedown
0%.
No, it's 0%.
No, never mind. Nobody's tried to take him down.
Who? Mokaya? No one takes him down because he always wants to take you down. Yeah, Mokaya's he's gonna dominate this fight as long as he shows up. I mean, he could get injured or something, but not much to talk about. I mean, he's just fighting in front, pro-Muslim crowd. He's young, huge, long amateur career. He should smash. People, I'm reading and listening to other predictors, and they think that like this is going to go to a decision. I don't. Just because he fought smart against Charles Johnson, who's a tough-ass motherfucker last time, I don't necessarily think that translates into him being like a grinded-out guy. I think he can look for a finish. His striking, like I said, a guy like he hurt Cody Durden early and was able to submit him. I think he had a head kick into a guillotine. So I wouldn't. And Malcolm Gordon's chin is just very suspect. So, club and sub all day. I think he gets it out of there under a round and a half.
I don't know if it's going to be under a round and a half or not, but I do agree that this is going to be this won't go to decision.
Yeah,
I should win this, and he should win this by decision.
Bless you, Chris. Bless you, Chris. That was a hearty sneeze. Wow.
John says, "Bless you." If you didn't hear him, he says you have a very hearty sneeze. When Malcolm Gordon loses, he gets finished. Punches in round 2, TKO round 1, triangle round 1, KO round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like all 5 of his losses. I haven't seen enough of his fights to know what happens. To know if this is all like he gets tired and then this happens, or he starts making bad decisions at whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Malcolm Gordon gets finished, just for whatever reason.
I agree. I think it's sooner rather than later. I just think there's more value on that under 1.5. But that's from a betting perspective. Next fight is, what is the next fight on the card?
Armin Petrosian versus Aj Dobson.
Yeah, this is a good fight. This is a good matchup.
His name is Athlone.
Athlone. AJ is the Armin Petrosian is a good striker. Good kicks. Good kicks, and he doesn't slow down. Always throws volume. And he keeps that work rate high even in the third round when he gets there. His Achilles heel is he cannot stop getting takedown. His submission defense is pretty good. And he gets back to his feet, but it takes him a long time. And his last fight against Caio Ohio, you saw that play out. And Caio's a really smart fighter too. The way to get him down, hold him down. He's not the same. He doesn't fight. He's not a grappler. Aj Dobson has never attempted a takedown in the UFC. His career, I think, in any fight. He's a striker. So
his Contender Series fight. Secured one of them.
One of them. Yeah.
It might be a rear naked choke.
Okay. But he's more, as we see, he's more striker. So this should play out like a striker versus striker. And Petrosian, I think, has the better overall skill set, but I think Dobson just has so much more power. Dobson's shots or his shots put you down. Petrosian, I don't think has that same power. I think Dobson's reach advantage too. I think he's got 4 or 5 inches. I think that might be a factor as well. I think AJ Dobson wins this first round, and I'm going to go with the upset. I think there's good value here. I think this line should be a lot closer. I think this should be more of a pick'em than, or maybe Petrosian minus 150, minus 145 because he's got a good UFC win against Gregory Rodriguez on his resume. But Petrosian's like minus 250. I don't think that's really. I think that's pretty off for a guy, especially that it has such a big hole in his game, even though Dobson may not be the guy to exploit it. But what if he does? Like, what if he gets a couple takedowns? So I'm going to go with Dobson for the upset.
Just because you get a couple takedowns, if you're not a guy who's accustomed to utilizing them, doesn't mean you're going to score anything with the judges.
True.
The days of lay and pray just winning are largely gone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're saying this guy can get back to his feet, cool.
Yeah, it takes him really long though, but that's against more dangerous accredited a grappler. But
yeah, Petrosian hits twice as often as he gets hit. Like he even landed more strikes than Kyle Bohalio in that fight where he got taken down for 3 complete rounds, which is insane.
he didn't win a round.
Didn't win a round. I think Bohalio was on his back for 3 whole rounds.
Yeah,
and still outstruck him.
We'll come back to that.
AJ Dobson gets hit though, like quite a bit.
That's fine.
Petrosian's got good enough Oh wait, takedown defense is 30%. Never mind. Yeah, well, let's go with Let's go with Dobson.
Oh,
let's go with Dobson. Petrosian probably gets this, but
we don't often agree on underdogs, so I think this is monumental. So now I have to bet him because if someone else agrees with my stupid thinking, now I'm just a sucker. That means the guy's winning. Next fight is
Magomed Mustafayev.
Yeah, against Yamato Nishikawa. So interested. So Mustafayev is a gigantic favorite, and rightfully so. He's minus 600. A lot of reasons. He's extremely well rounded. Has fought way much better competition and looked good doing so.
This fight got pulled.
Did it? That's why
fight's canceled.
Okay.
Next fight is Abu Bakar Nurmagomedov versus Gadzhi Omar Gadziev.
Yeah, this is a really tough fight. This is the closest odds I think on the whole card. It's really close. I didn't like the way Gadzhi looked his last fight, or the fight. It looked like he kind of just didn't have an answer, gassed out, which is never a good look. It's really tough. I don't know that much about Abubakar, but I'm going to go with him because his last name is Nurmagomedov. And
he's actually Khabib's brother.
Is he really?
Yeah, this one's actually Khabib's brother. Khabib's one of like 16 or something like this. And most of his siblings didn't do anything to the level that he did with fighting. Yeah. Like this one's actually related, not just Nurmagomedov is, I guess, a common name in Dagestan.
Yes, it is.
This one's related.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with him. Go ahead. Maybe you have more insight on this. I don't. I'm not betting this fight. It just
I don't know Gadziev at all.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen more of Ghazi on like as far as fights than Abubakar. Like, but yeah,
Both only have 2 fights in the UFC.
Okay.
Similar records overall.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got no idea. In order to create to have more controversy, I'm gonna go with Omar Gaziev.
Nice.
But I would probably also pick Nurmagomedov if I was betting.
All right.
Zubaira Tukhugov.
Yeah.
Versus Lucas Almeida.
Yeah. Tukagov. I am so Tukagov was last seen losing a unanimous decision to Tim Elliott. I've never been impressed with Tukagov. I know he's got the background, the pedigree. He trains with Islam, Khabib. You know, he's whole life and thing. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, everybody's got that friend that's like just doesn't get things. Like, I think maybe he's one of those guys, but he's just hung around with elite fighters and trained his whole life and thing. Like, but like, you know, like there's always that guy that like, you know, he's your boy and thing, but you know, he doesn't get things. Like, you know, like, and everyone else does. You know, like he's like the guy that's I don't see him do anything impressive. Like the way he lost to Tim Elliott, and even his wins other than that, like I just wasn't very impressed. Like, and the guy's he's always a favorite. I don't understand.
No. That's not Zubaira.
It's not.
Zubaira fights at 150 at 145.
This is the same. Tukagov lost to Tim Elliott.
No, I think I'll find the name of the guy that you're thinking of.
Is it really? I think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Tukagov because
It's not Tukagov.
Yes, it is.
Tim Elliott fights at 125.
This guy's a featherweight.
Tagir Ulanbekov.
You're right. Fuck, I got the wrong guy. I do. I look at the wrong guy.
Zubaira's
all right, I got the wrong. I have the wrong guy, but
at that gym.
But I mean everything I said about that other guy. All right. Yeah.
This guy's last fight was Ricardo Ramos.
Yeah, Ricardo Ramos decision. He lost to Hakeem. Right. Which was a really good close fight. Lost thing. Yeah. I like Lucas Almeida. I remember his Contender Series fight against Daniel Zellhuber was a banger, and they both got contracts. He got a contract out of a loss, but it was a really good fight. It was a 3-round decision, but it was one of the really good
contract out of that.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He had a fight outside the UFC in between then and his first UFC fight. He went back to Jungle Fight 2 months later. And got a guillotine in round 1, which is usually what happens. They tell you go win a fight and you just get in, or you lose and you get in on short notice.
Okay,
which is good because the Contender Series contracts are bullshit. They pay you less than if you got in normal.
Yeah, it's really all right. I think Almeida is underrated. I think he's good. He's won his last 2 fights. I mean, and he definitely has action, come forward style. Pretty well rounded. That being said, I do think that he's stepping up though. I think he's stepping up here against Tukagov. I'm going to go with Tukagov to win this fight.
He fought like pretty legit competition the whole time through. I have not ever seen Lucas Almeida. But given how much I'm going to pick for Team Khabib later, I'm going to pick against Team Khabib here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do we got next?
Is it that the dude's retired, and he's still the most interesting thing happening there. Anyway, the other day I saw a video of a 45-minute Russian interview with Khabib being released on just regular UFC's YouTube. No interview with Islam. No videos of Islam. Constant videos of Khabib.
It's a steady diet of Khabib.
No videos. No content of Islam doing anything or being interviewed. Like nobody cares. This is very strange. Very strange.
Yeah, that's all.
The next fight is Volkan Oezdemir versus the
minor Nikita
most mistaken fighter in the UFC, like
Krylov. Krylov last seen starching Alexander Gustafsson, and then before that,
how about that?
He was crushing the Bear Jew before walking into a triangle. So, I mean, Nikita Krylov, I think like the book, Krylov is a really good fighter. He's been around a while. He's tough as nails. He's absolutely finisher. I'm pretty sure he's finished every single win besides maybe one or two. Like his finish percentage is probably over 90%.
Johnny Walker.
Krylov is he's a really good fighter. I don't. That's it, right? He doesn't have. He's a finisher.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, he's really good. When he fights, Oezdemir, we saw he fought Paul Craig last time, and he looked different. I think people would say too he didn't look like himself, but it was a different matchup, like different kind of matchup. Like he had to really be aware of Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu, like to an extent where it affected his decision making during the fight. Maybe he didn't throw strikes or things that he normally would have because that was his way of steering clear. And he won the fight. Did he get the knockout? No, everyone expected him to, but he clearly won the fight. This is a different fight though, so for him. So he's probably going to go back to his normal, whatever he would do normally. He's not looking for one specific thing here against Krylov. Krylov's really well-rounded, though. I don't. The Oezdemir that fought last time doesn't win this fight, but I don't think he's going to be that guy. I don't know. I don't know who to pick. Who do you like?
I think that the Oezdemir that fought last time would win this fight.
Oh, okay.
Specifically because that Oezdemir followed a game plan.
He did.
Instead of fighting in the way that he normally would want to, he followed a pretty strict game plan. Nikita Krylov, his first fight was in July of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
In August of 2013, he fought Soa Paleli at heavyweight in the UFC. 13 months after his first pro fight, he's in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no wonder this guy has made so many mistakes. And he already had 17 fights in 13 months. No wonder we've seen him lose so much. He's done everything at the highest level.
Yeah.
But I don't expect him to be able to do enough stuff to Volkan Oezdemir to really cause problems. I don't think he's going to take him down and cause real problems for him there. I don't think that he's going to outstrike Volkan. So I think Volkan's likely to win a pretty boring decision.
Okay. I'll add the drama. I'll go with Krylov. I think that's one of the few fights that I don't check out. I'll go with Krylov. All right, looking forward to that fight though. Should be good. What do we got next?
Mahmoud Muradov versus Caio Borralho.
Caio Borralho, we talked about it. So he fought Armin Petrosian, who's also on the card. Caio Borralho, really good, really high fight IQ. Trains with Damian Maia's team. He's also a Contender Series graduate. It's been winning fights. Muradov was highly respected, came in. He was a giant favorite over Gerald Mearschart. And I think he was like minus 500, which I thought was fucking crazy. And he ended up getting dropped and submitted by Mearschart. So crazy look, but that's what happened. Now he's coming back and he's fighting Caio Borralho. So I don't know. Caio Borralho, I don't feel he should be as big as favorite as he is. He's a minus 250 favorite. He's definitely a really smart fighter. I would say his jiu-jitsu is really good because he's a black belt. He trains with Damian Maia. He doesn't have many submission wins, but I think that's more of just he's more holding position. And I think MMA, in MMA, it's vastly different than just a straight jiu-jitsu tournament. You put yourself, it's just he's just a smart fighter. He's not going to put himself in any necessary dangers. He doesn't do that. So he's more concerned with holding, like you said, Petrosian actually landed more strikes than him, but never won a round because Borralho just took him down, secured like the back or secured something. He never got reversed. Never did. He just held his man down. He did what he had to do to win the fight. Muradov has power. He has game. He's definitely respected. It's a tough matchup. Caio is, I don't know if he's the greatest striker. I don't think he's the same fighter when he's going backwards. No one is, in a sense, but I think he's vastly different. Like he's not the same guy when you put him on his heels, he's a totally different guy in there. And I think he auto defaults to tap in for a blast double or just some kind of double leg takedown. Like seems like it's his favorite takedown. Whenever he feels like you're coming after him or something, it looks like he's that. His clinch game is good. Overall too. It's a tough fight. It's tough. I know Borralho is a big favorite. I don't recommend betting him. I think value is actually on the underdog, who was supposed to be a demon slayer coming in and got knocked out last time, got caught by a veteran. But like we talk about a lot on this show, young guys moving up with their fights, 1 or 2 fights in the UFC, and they're fighting a well-rounded veteran. It's a really big learning curve, and the veteran usually beats these guys. Did anyone expect Mearschart to finish Muradov? Fuck no. It was supposed to be the other way around. But, that happened. GM3 is a savage. I don't know. I'll go with Caio to win the fight, but it should be a good fight, and I'm not really sure where to lean as far as a betting perspective. So no bets for me on this fight.
What was the line again?
This fight, Borralho is minus 250.
Oh, I would definitely bet on Mahmoud. I definitely think Mahmoud's going to win this. He's got good takedown defense. I like his work rate in his striking, which isn't everything. Especially the more that I look at that, the more I realize that a lot of fighters are pretty even in that. The only problem is Gerald's really the only person. Gerald's the only person who took him down at all. And I don't expect Borralho to outstrike him. I just don't think it's his thing, really. I think his the numbers say that he's good for 2.5 takedowns per fight, which is pretty high. Which kind of makes me like, that's high enough to be you're a takedown first guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to take down Mahmoud pretty easily.
Should
But
have. Yeah.
I'm picking Mahmoud.
All right. I like it. Good upset pick. All right. What's next? The value is definitely on. Oh, Sean Brady represent Philadelphia. Renzo Gracie squad. I think the Renzo Gracie squad recently took their first L, right? Sabatini got beat, but that was the first.
Yep.
Other than that, they were running through the UFC. Sean Brady stepping up. Sean Brady's going to step up here. This is his biggest test. Brady's about a -140, -150 favorite. I don't think he should be favored over Bilal Muhammad. I think it should be like a pick'ems or maybe Bilal Muhammad like -120, something small, just because Bilal Muhammad's been around for a while. He's faced really good competition, and he's beaten high-level guys. You can make a case for Brady and argue that, but Brady's uber talented. Oh, my guy. Hey, my son's waking up. Hang on.
This
he's sleeping, so I got to carry him. But he thinks he's awake, but he's not. He sleepwalks a little bit. So I think Sean Brady is Bilal Muhammad he's obviously a wrestle first kind of guy. I don't see that working here. Sean Brady is I'm from the area. Like, I know people that have either trained with him or grappled with him in like tournaments, or know people that have trained with him, and he's just unbelievably gorilla strong for a guy his size. And there's no comparison of it. His takedown defense is really good for a reason. It's really hard to take Sean Brady down, especially early. Chiesa couldn't do it. Really good wrestlers. He's really strong. And once he gets a clinch on you or a body lock or whatever, like, he's going to get you down. That being said, he gasses. He's clearly not the same guy in the third round. What else? His striking, I think, doesn't get enough respect. I think he keeps Bilal Muhammad off of him for 2 rounds. And if he gets on top of Muhammad, I think he controls Muhammad. And I think he wins the fight by decision.
He wins by decision. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Brady wins by decision. I think he ends up. I think he owns Muhammad more than we think. I don't see Bilal Muhammad's. He's going to have to strike here, and he doesn't have power. He doesn't have the kind of power. He does have pretty good volume, Muhammad, and he definitely hits more than he gets hit. And he always follows a good game plan, though, too. I just don't know what that would be here, because Brady is really sharp striker, ton of power. Is he going to try to take Sean down? Maybe. I don't know. But Sean could definitely take him down, too. So I don't know what my son's looking at me like I'm crazy, so bet Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady can't win this fight. He's looking at me like, what, Daddy? Like, you think Sean Brady's beating Bilal? Bully Bilal? No.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. The
really good fight, though. Can't wait to see it.
If this was 5 rounds, I'd pick Bilal every time.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
Over 3 rounds, man. What I saw Sean Brady do to Michael Chiesa, like, that's craziness.
Yeah.
Chiesa.
Jake Matthews too. Jake Matthews is good. I mean, Jake Matthews is no joke. Yeah. Jake Matthews has no answer for Sean Brady.
I've heard the same exact things that you heard about Sean Brady, that he is impossibly strong.
It's there's no comparison. It's ridiculous. Like, he's just, if you see him in person, like I have a bunch of, doesn't stick out, like, thing, but he's just a really strong dude.
he lifts weights 7 days a week,
Nice.
no matter what is going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, I don't know. This is the most confusing fight on the card to me, including that fight with the Russians. I don't know at all. Right? That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You picked Brady, so I mean, I'm gonna take Bilal. Hey, he lives 45 minutes away from me. He used to train in my city. I'll take Bilal.
Take Bilal. He's training with the Russians for this fight too.
Yeah, for a week. He's been with them for a week or two.
Oh, that's it.
It's
okay.
the end of his camp because they're already over there.
Okay.
Because otherwise, he trains at a small little gym in borderline rural Illinois, middle of nowhere type shit. So yeah, I'll take Bilal. Caitlin Chikagian versus Manon Fiorot.
The Beast. Yeah. No, this line's confusing for me too. Like Fiorot is all right. She's stepping up to Chookagian, who's kind of the number one contender, gatekeeper in a sense. She's never going to win the title. But she does really well against the top five or anybody trying to break into the top five, not named Valentina or Jessica Andrade. Fiorot is everyone's high on her. You've seen her fight for good reason. She does a lot of things well. She's really strong, very well rounded. I feel like she telegraphs a lot of her strikes, especially her kicks. She kind of has that Shawn Michaels fucking body sidekick that I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like everyone it's coming. She goes to it all the time, and just no one gets out of the way. They get out of the way or just run into it, or maybe body kicks just don't hurt as much as they look like on TV. But I don't know. Do I feel like Fiorot should be? I think she's minus 230, over Chookagian. No. Chookagian. One thing though, I feel like Chookagian, she doesn't strike that accurate as it looks on TV or as she sounds. She's always and thing, and but her striking percentage overall isn't that great. So she has a reach advantage on everyone because she's a giant for the weight class. I think she'll have 3 inches here, maybe more. But she has no power. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, Fiorot is going to be the one landing the bigger shots. Fiorot also runs girls over in the takedowns. Even when she shouldn't, she shouldn't have taken. She didn't have to take Jen Maya down at all, but she did. She didn't get submitted or wasn't in that much of a danger, and she seems like she defends well when she was on top. It wouldn't shock me though if Chookagian wins this fight. I think you need a better price though. The better, I think I would need even though I don't agree with the line, I don't think it's that outrageous where it's a slam dunk. Let me bet Chookagian. I'm not going to be betting this fight, so I'll go with Fiorot to win. But I think I wouldn't be shocked if Caitlin wins.
So I'm going with Caitlin to win.
All right.
I wouldn't be shocked if Fiorot flatlined her. Just
I don't think she's ever been knocked out though, Chookagian. So
it doesn't even have to be. Let me retract. Not flatlined. Just ran over her and made it look easy.
Right. Okay.
I think either Caitlin's going to have her way with her, and it's going to be a very Caitlin Chookagian fight, or she'll completely run over. I don't think it's going to be close at all. So I'm picking Caitlin. I think that's the more likely. But she might get trucked.
Yeah, possible. Let's see what's next.
Beneil Dariush versus Mateus Gamrot. I didn't know the fight was happening until yesterday. That's an incredible fight. That's insane. That's amazing.
It's It's a great fight. Great fight. Yeah, I want to see Dariush, what he can do. I wanted to kind of see him fight Makhachev. I thought that would have been a really awesome, like, number one contender fight to see who gets to face Oliveira. But we didn't get to see that because Dariush got hurt and such. And now Dariush, he cleared. He's coming back. I think from an injury, and now he's fighting Gamrot, which I think is an absolute terrible matchup for him, in my opinion. Gamrot just beat Armin Sarukian in a really good fight, 5-round fight. And Sarukian was, I think, the only guy we've seen that won a round or won. I think he lost a split to Islam, to Makhachev. Like, that was, so he's an incredible wrestler, grappler. Gamrot is just really good. I mean, the guy's 22-1, probably should be 23-0. I mean, questionable judging in the loss. I mean, he doesn't really do anything wrong. His grappling is incredible. His striking is really good. I think that's where I think maybe the overall better grappler might be Dariush, because Dariush's jiu-jitsu is so good. I don't think Gamrot's like leans on that, but I think Gamrot's wrestling is. I don't think Dariush is going to be able to take him down like he did to Tony Ferguson and just control him. So I can't really put a lot of weight on that. I mean, Gamrot's a savage, his power and everything. So I think Gamrot wins the fight. Dariush's chin also, I think he's been knocked out 4 or 5 times. So I think Gamrot finds his chin at some point over 15 minutes. I think he wins. I think he knocks him out.
I'm sorry, I'm lost in loops of the Gamrot versus Sarukian fight right now, and how insane that fight was. I think this should be another pretty scrambly fight. I think it's very unlikely that Gamrot is able to submit Beneil. He just doesn't really go for them very much. No. Beneil has a decent sort of submission record himself. Yeah. That's where he comes from originally. Is from jiu-jitsu. Competed at a pretty high level. I believe he submitted Crone Gracie when they were both black belts, brown belts, something like that. So he's got a couple like notable wins in jiu-jitsu before he moved into MMA. Lately, his wrestling's looked better and better, but not on the level of a Gamrot, right? Like, I don't expect him to win those scrambles.
I agree. No, I don't.
But if he can pull submissions out of those scrambles, that I think he could be very successful with. I can't remember another. Michael Chiesa is probably the only like wrestle first guy that Dariush has fought, and that was 6 years ago. He's fought good grapplers, but Diego Ferreira is the only other guy that's like a grappler first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who did you pick? Pick Gamrot?
Gamrot.
I'll take Beneil. I'm comfortable with it.
All right. I like it.
No, that's
co-main event time. I know who you're picking in this fight. So we got Aljamain Sterling defending the strap against TJ.
The next fight is Petrosian versus Sean O'Malley.
Oh my God, I forgot about my best bet of the card. What am I? I'm sorry.
Man. You're so off.
I am off. It's because I'm not in front of the computer.
Don't follow any of his picks. I'm sure he gets
Petrosian is my best bet of the card. Petrosian is going to absolutely crush Sean O'Malley. Finish props too. You can find double chance finish prop. I think at plus 280 still on like FanDuel or somewhere. I think Sean O'Malley's in for a rude awakening of where he thinks he is versus where he's actually is. I mean, he's stepping up finally and fighting a guy, but he's Sean O'Malley, like, has never beat. I mean, his last 5 wins, the guys aren't even in the company anymore. The only guy he fought was Vera, and he got like, he got an unlucky, unfortunate injury. I think that's also the second time though that he's lost by the injury. If there's one thing going for him, it's Jan is a notoriously slow starter, and this is a 3-round fight. So Jan usually, I don't even know the last time he won the first round. Jan, I think he lost the first round to Aldo, Sterling, Sandhagen. I think he lost the first round to all those guys.
He gives it up.
But that's what they say he does in downloads. I don't know if he wants to do that with being he's gonna be at like a 6 or 7 inch reach disadvantage. I don't think that matters for him because he's so well rounded, and he can just take the fight wherever he wants. His knockdown rate is ridiculous for this weight class. I'm stupidly confident that Peter Yan finishes Sean O'Malley, but he's my best bet of the card.
Sean O'Malley's knockdown rate is like double what Petr Yan's is.
Yeah, I don't count that. He's fought nobody. He's fought like no. He literally fought like. Look at the guy. Look at his last 5 wins. I'm telling you, he's never beaten a ranked guy, and his last 5 wins, nobody was even. They barely fought in the UFC ever again. Like the UFC did a great job of looking at the matchup. It was just striker, aging striker, washed up striker, and just that's great. I mean,
picked his own fight. UFC didn't pick his fights.
Hey, let him go for it. But
which is like
the sugar show
even more proves your point.
The sugar show
is his own fights. Like, 100% he would avoid those.
I think I don't know if Jan starts slow. But
hey, wait, hold on. I'm going to interrupt this for the very first comment we've ever had while live.
Wow.
Do you think that John Jones will return this year?
Do we think John Jones will return this year? John Jones is currently said yes to December 12th to headline the last pay-per-view of the year. However, he does not have an opponent as of now, so I don't know if anybody even wants John Jones. He's been gone for so long.
I mean, that's a big name.
He's probably one of the biggest. I mean, he's just John Jones. They're waiting for him. I mean, who's it? Nagano's still recovering from knee injury. He doesn't quite want to give it a go. Stipe doesn't want to fight until March or April. And I mean, who else would he fight? I don't.
Cyril Gane.
Gane's not going to take it on that short of notice, I wouldn't think, but maybe
2 months. That's 8 weeks.
I mean, the UFC's throwing money at people too, so they're going to go down the line. They'll find him a good opponent.
Alexander Volkov.
That would make sense. Like somebody top 5, right? Like outside.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Volkov Jones would make a lot of sense for your first heavyweight fight, but
would be.
I mean,
the longest dude at the weight class.
What about Jones and Derek Lewis?
Jones and Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis has a Sergey Pavlik fight before then.
They're running it back?
I don't know. What fight were we supposed to be doing? O'Malley versus... I got O'Malley.
So I do, but to answer the comment, I do think John Jones fights. He said yes already, so I think the UFC will find him an opponent. The one thing that also I think I told Josh this, we were texting, and the UFC also for Hachka and Glover are running it back for the light heavyweight belt, and they did not commit to that as being the main event either. So they knew they wanted Jones to headline. So yes, he's probably going to fight December 12th. I got Peter Yan. Do you have Peter Yan? Did you pick?
I got Sterling. Or I got O'Malley.
You have O'Malley?
Taking O'Malley.
What a sucker. Yeah, the public just loves O'Malley. He's going to get crushed. All right. Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw. Yeah, sick fight. The TJ Dillashaw that we've seen, like, in a just the prime, like, good Dillashaw is just a fucking horrendous matchup for Sterling, I think, because he's just as good of a wrestler, and his gas tank is insane. 25 minutes, and Sterling without the takedowns or the back control is a different fighter, even though he does like to push the pace too. I, this is really tough. I feel like even oh man, the line is Sterling is only about -150, which in general, like a champion should be like -200 by default to defend the belt. It's really tough. I mean, I just don't know what version of Dillashaw you get now without the PEDs, the time away, you know, injuries, weight cuts. Like, what do you get? Like, I don't know what you get with them. You know, Aljo's is a natural. You know, he's a naturally gifted like athlete. He's just fucking rip you around. He's not the most amazing wrestler. Like his takedowns aren't that great, which I think also plays into Dillashaw's hands. Not that Dillashaw won't get up anyway, but I don't know. I'm going to go with Dillashaw, you know, for the upset in price. But I don't know what version you'll get. Like, am I betting it? No. But I think this fight's going to be really close, so I'll go with Dillashaw.
I think Aljo is a better wrestler than Dillashaw.
He might be.
I think both in MMA and out of MMA, he's a better wrestler than Dillashaw. But I think that he fights at a longer range, and it makes it more difficult to secure takedowns. Most wrestlers, most people that want to take you down fight at boxing range. Aljo fights at kicking range. Right? So it's hard to... Takedowns are done from clinching range, traditionally. They're done from a distance I can touch you. If I can't touch you, I'm not going to take you down. So they're actually done inside of punching range. And he does all of his fighting outside of punching range.
Right.
Right. So I think that has to do with the low takedown accuracy. And he just spams them. Like, he does a really good job of using them just to tie up with you. Like, look at the first Jan fight. Constantly tying up with him with no intention of actually getting a takedown, just to make things happen. Kind of like Sandhagen did in his fight against Song Yadong. I expect that Sterling will be able to take Dillashaw down. I think that Dillashaw is the best bantamweight of all time. Right? Okay. And I think he's going to lose to Aljamain Sterling.
Okay.
And not even just not he's old or anything. Like, I think if he hadn't taken that time off, somebody probably would have. I think the game's probably caught up with him. Like, he's definitely still top 5, but I don't expect him to win this title. And if he does,
I agree with all that, and that those are all really, really likely outcomes. Yeah, I think too. That's the one thing I'll go with him just for the for the upset. And if you're betting, I would say yes. Like, I think Dillashaw is a better bet in this case, but no, I don't know. But I think it'll be a really good fight. You're going to see some sick scrambles. You should see a lot of skills on display. I think that the event, like, following it is so huge that it takes away from this event. Like, people might not appreciate it as much because you're just like, oh my god, get this fucking thing over with and get me to Oliveira. I want to see blonde Brazilians marching out for war. They're
Brazilians.
So, but yeah, I could definitely see that happening, which brings us to the main event. Charles Oliveira versus Makhachev. I cannot go against Oliveira. I mean, the guy's just, I don't think I've ever seen anybody go on a run like he has recently, after just no one's had the length of career that he's had. I think he was in the UFC when he was 18. He was fighting professionally when he was like 14, and fighting professionally in Brazil when you're 14 back then means like you probably have to win like 5 fights to get paid, like 4 or 5 fights in a night. Like, it's the tournaments are like, you're fighting MMA too. You're fighting 3, 4, 5, to get paid. Like, they pay the winner, and Like Oliveira was paying so he came in the UFC when he was 18, 19, his first fights.
His first fight, he was 19.
19,
And
but
he
he had
got
a bunch
to
of fights
UFC when he
before
was
that.
21.
Yeah, he lost, right? That was his first loss.
Pro fight was 2008.
Uh-huh.
And his first UFC fight was 2010. 2.5 years later.
Yeah. This is
21 and a half, something like that, 22.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who kind of, grew up in the UFC. Like,
12 years.
like when you're 18, what were you doing? When you're 18, it's like, depending on, I don't know where you're from in the world, when you're 18, your mindset is just totally different. Like you're talking about a guy who was 18 and had to grow up as a fighter in the biggest promotion in the world, so it's, you've seen if you follow his career, you've seen the guy you said like, oh, he's a quitter. He was this, he was that. That guy's gone. That guy's not there anymore. That guy is whatever you want to say. If that's your strategy to win the fight, if you think you're going to bring that guy out of him, good luck. That guy's not there. Yeah, Oliveira striking, I think, still underrated. Justin Gaethje was quoted as just saying, I've never been hit that hard. No one's hitting him that hard as Oliveira hit him. He was shocked at how powerful his strikes were. He said he hit him with the first strike in the first round. And then eventually before he finished him, he said like he got cracked. Like he's never been hit like that. So based on what I seen Oliveira, like it's just shocking to me that Makhachev opened up minus 300 as a favorite. I mean, I said it from the beginning. I told everybody, like, it's just, how is that not? That's all based on who he rolls with, who he trains with. That's based on Khabib's. Like, that's not based on his. He's never beaten anybody that's good. So how could he be that big of a favorite? And the line is cratered because people are going to bet. I mean, sharp money, your regular Joe Public, they're going to bet Oliveira just on what they see on that. I mean, it's ridiculous. Makhachev, I think he's minus 150 now. Oliveira plus 135. Oliveira should be the favorite in this fight.
Oliveira should.
He should be the favorite, just based on what he's done and everything. What is Islam going to do? Is he going to take him down? Yes. Is he going to get Charles Oliveira down at some point? Yes, of course he is. He's a fucking great. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Yeah, he'll get him down. There's no shock on that. I don't think Oliveira's takedown defense is that great historically or at all. But he'll
it's
get him down.
Pretty good.
Is it? I would say I would
not
less
phenomenal,
than 40%.
But given who he is, it's very high.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Given his strategies, it's 57%.
That's way higher than I thought it would be.
Would expect it to be in the 30s or something like that.
Yeah. Do I expect Oliveira to, even though he has a clear path to victory here, which is keep the fight standing, you're more durable, you have more power as a striker. You've shown that you can get hit by the most beastly of men and come back and submit them not too long later. Is he going to change who he is? No, it's just not who he is. He's that come forward, shoot they box. I'm coming forward. I'm going to go. I'm not holding back. I'm going to knock you the fuck out. So Islam Makhachev is going to get takedowns. Is he going to roll through Oliveira like he's done previously? No, absolutely not. Is he going to hold position these whole times against Charles and ground and pound and do things? Maybe. But I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. What's going to happen when Makhachev gets hit? I mean, the guy doesn't get hit that often. I wouldn't put too much weight in his only loss being a knockout. Everybody gets caught sometimes, but I mean, the guy also, he's like, and they said it about Khabib too, like he's never fought anybody. I wouldn't say he hasn't fought nobody, but he's in no way beaten the level of competition Oliveira has. And he shouldn't be favored in this fight. I mean, regardless of the outcome, he might walk in there and win in 2 minutes, but regardless, I don't know. I think Charles Oliveira wins the fight. I don't know how. It's not supposed to go that long, but Makhachev is a very smart fighter. I think he'll give himself the best chance to win, regardless of what's going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if this fight gets extended. And I don't know what to expect in this fight. But I think Oliveira wins.
I have never, ever rooted against Charles Oliveira. And I have not picked him in his last, 5 fights. I think I picked him against...
I think we both had Gaethje. I thought Gaethje was going to beat him. But Gaethje did fall. He fought well. I mean, he just got beat.
I think that Charles is going to get taken down early, which is not like Islam usually starts pretty slow, methodically slow. It's not like Cowboy, who needs to be woken up or something like that. It's more like Petrosian, where it's like an intentional pace. This is the pace I've chosen to set. But I expect that Charles is going to try and run him over like he tries to run everyone over. And I expect him to get caught with a reactive takedown.
I see that happening too. But I don't, we don't know. I mean, it's all speculation. We don't know what we're going to see after that. I mean, has Makhachev trained with, elite grapplers his whole life? Yeah, of course. Has he trained with anyone has the submission game of Oliveira? No. I mean, no one has the submission game of Oliveira. He has the most submission wins in the history. So it's just, he's constantly looking for these things. Has Makhachev been dodging submissions in the octagon? No, I don't ever. When has he ever fought a guy that's even put him on the defensive where, holy shit, this guy's fucking step 1, 2, 3, 4, he's all over the place, or he's back to his feet, he's sweeping, what's going on, what's going on here? I mean, and you're talking about he's fighting a guy who's grew up doing this, in a sense. He grew up, fighting, and actually has been in the league for a long time. I don't know. It's crazy to say, but I mean, if any, I think Makhachev's stepping up here. He's stepping up above his head, in my opinion. Can he win the fight? Of course, but I think Oliveira wins.
Your money belongs on Charles Oliveira.
Yes, that's a good way of what I'm trying to say. Yes, I tried to bet Oliveira earlier, but
I think Islam's going to win.
All right.
I actually think Charles is going to win, but I'm going to pick.
But you're going to pick Islam just
for the purpose of just disrupting the system here.
Disrupt.
I think that the best thing you can do with your money is pick Charles, especially if you're getting him at plus money.
Yes,
especially if you could have gotten him super early.
Yeah. Unfortunately, few books are actually taking action on it at that line, but that line was ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how they make a line like that's just stupid. But yeah, that was it. It's definitely just based off Khabib's coattails in a sense. These guys, the Russians are unbeatable, and they're going to rule the lightweight division forever. I don't know, but I don't know. Some props in the fight. I mean, it's not favored to go long, but I don't know. I think if Oliveira does win, I think he wins. I think he wins by a KO, TKO, more than a submission. It's hard to say. I don't think Makhachev has ever been submitted. In general, I think Sambo fighters are really good at not getting submitted. I think what's the one that comes to my head is I think Chris Wade had a perfect guillotine on Makhachev. One fight. Chris Wade's now in the PFL, and somehow he didn't get to finish. So I don't know. I mean, anybody can get choked out, obviously, but it's kind of hard to back. I think it's hard to back Charles just straight by what he does best submission here. I think it's much more likely to me that he somehow gets a KO, TKO than win by submission. But that's all we got for tonight.
Nope. I think that if he wins, it's going to be by submission, because I think he's going to drop him. I don't think he's going to. He's definitely not going to submit him off of his back.
No.
And he's unlikely to submit him from a top control position.
Mm-hmm.
What is likely to happen is him to drop Islam and catch him there. Catch him while he's rocked.
Yeah, club and sub. Yeah, maybe that's possible. You know, it always is, but it's I don't know if he'll. I don't like once he lands his kill. Like I've seen Oliveira win by ground and pound TKO. Once you're hurt and he doesn't think you're getting up, yeah, I've seen him just, you know, he'll finish the job where it is. Yeah, I mean that's possible based on his power, but it's really hard though, like because I think, you know, it's hard to say. Like it's hard to react. It's like, you know, there's stats in baseball like batted balls in play. Like, but once the ball's in play and batted, you can't really tell like where it's, you know, how hard you hit it, where it's going. It's kind of a random thing. Like it's kind of random. Like once you actually crack and knock someone down, you know, they're probably knocked out or about to be done more often than not. So that the submission isn't necessary. You know, like you just want to connect. You want to connect with something forceful quicker than rushing and trying to get into a submission, especially in MMA. You just want to get the fight over with if you think it's done. But yeah,
no, man. Most of the guys that have the highest submission rates are the guys that do that. Are the guys that catch submissions in, with the exception of like your Damian Maias. Think about the prolific submission finishers. Like name a few submission guys, submission artists, like real true submission artists.
I mean, Damian Maia, Oliveira come to mind for me. The Olenek, like they only win by like they're just really good at getting submissions.
Olenek is a little different. Olenek is like on the ground first. Cowboy has a lot of them, right? Pettis does a lot that way. Like it's a super common thing, guys. The best setup for a submission is a knockdown.
Okay.
Like the majority or a scramble, right? Like it happens in scrambles too, but it's not gonna happen from like control positions. It's not gonna happen from jiu-jitsu that you and I see every day.
Right.
It's going to happen from the chaos of actual combat. But, anywho, that I believe is the card, everybody.
That's the card, everybody. Thank you.
Nice card. An insanely good card.
Good card. Yeah, enjoy it. Like, share, please, comment, subscribe. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to know? Hit us up. Hit us up on the video. Would like to chat or email. Hit us up on the email thread.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, mother truckers. This time and every time. Thank you for being here.